right, so I'm speaking with Mo of Games by Mo, who's showing off his game A.N.N.E at PAX East. So,
Hey, how's it going?
so Mo, A.N.N.E is a gorgeous little 8-bit game. It was successfully kickstarted.
Basically, the basic of the game is basically, it's a love letter to all the games that I used to play as a kid. It's all my favorite games mashed into one, essentially. What I wanted to do is a game where you can kind of progress at your own pace and explore the world, really have a world to explore, not have something that's too linear. I don't want to force the player to do, certain things like all the time. So essentially it was kind of my need to play a game where I had a little bit of freedom of exploration, but with mechanics that are really like the games that I used to play and that I really love. So I just wanted to cram all these things into one.
What games would you say were your biggest inspiration then?
The game that really turned me into an instant geek was Super Mario as a kid. When I grabbed this NES controller, my life changed essentially. And then from there on, I was pretty much renting like 2 games every weekend. It was crazy. And, games like Contra, Life Force, Mega Man, and all that stuff was just like Gradius. And those are really the games that for me, they stuck with me all this time. So even now, once in a while I will replay them and so on. So it came just for me as a need to have a game that has a bit of all these elements, to kind of keep things interesting and just a melting pot and keeps change. It creates kind of a dynamic game where you have different types of gameplay.
All right. And what are those 2 types of gameplay for the people who didn't kickstart the game? The fools who did not kickstart the game, rather.
Well, yes, the game is really centered around a little robot that's trying to find all the pieces of his broken down girlfriend with the help of his ship. Basically, he has a ship. So if you're thinking, something like Blaster Master, where, you can get in and out of your vehicle, that's kind of a little bit of the inspiration here too. But essentially the ship has really like special abilities that will help the character progress. So you can carry heavy objects that you can use as platforms or just throw onto enemies. So there's a bit of puzzles and trying to use your ship to help your character and character to help the ship to explore new areas and so on. So it's really the main gameplay of the games are really platforming, shooting, and space shooter, old school arcade space shooting like Gradius and so on.
I think one of the things that I liked the most when I was seeing the original videos and the concept of it was this split between these 2 incredibly different styles of gameplay, but how you've made them work together in tandem so it all ties together. About how much of the game would you say is ship and about how much is on foot?
I would say it's probably something like, it's hard to say, maybe 60% platforming and 40% space shooting. And also the space shooting is also divided between just like free roaming in the world, and also when you travel between a world to another world, then you have like a special space shooting segment, like side scrolling, really classic. So you have those 2 types of gameplay with the ship, but also, the character gameplay, which is more like platforming, classic platforming with, everything that entails. But yeah, I would say it's maybe 60-40, but it's hard to say because if you really like playing with the ship, then you might fiddle a little bit more with it. You might be doing more ship mini games than platforming mini games and so on. So I think I'm trying to cater to people that might like more platforming or people that will like more of the ship gameplay. So have a bit of a choice in there, or a bit of a freedom to play more with one or the other if you want.
All right, well, the game looks absolutely fantastic. I'm going to try it right after this. I'm really looking forward to it. You're doing a great job, man, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, man.